Hello my dear friend, I wish you wisdom. A while ago I did a video on visualization, but in there I placed too many examples and methods. And I think that for this kind of practice, in order to make people understand how it works, we should keep things simple and work with simple examples and methods. Okay, so visualization, what is that? During the day, we have many thoughts in our mind, and as you may observe by yourself, you may be thinking about your dog or a bill, and soon as the thoughts rise in your mind, you visualize them. It's like they are in front of you like a picture. Every man on this planet visualizes on a daily basis, even if he is aware or not. I started to understand the law of cause and effect better when I dedicated myself to practice. And I believe that the most common mistake that people do with the visualization technique and the laws of the universe is that they don't test things out, and mostly because they think it's a waste of time or takes too long. And sincerely, I think that people don't invest the time in practice, and because of that, they believe the law doesn't work. If you want to become the magician of your life, well, you must prepare yourself for some serious tests. If you don't take the time to practice, well, you will be like a scientist who failed in his craft. Okay, so how we practice must be your question. The number one step is to understand the law of cause and effect. Before we proceed to the next step, I believe that you must understand, at least on a basic level, first the law of cause and effect, which is the law of karma. I did a video a few days ago, and I will place a link down below in the description. Watch that first. It's basic in nature, but I think that will make you understand the principle at least. The next step is to grab a notebook. When you start to become a practitioner of the law, you must have a tracker in which you write down your results to see what works, how much time it took, effort, because in time the goal will be to become a master at manifestation. Okay, so the next step is to decide, but don't decide on anything crazy, because the scope of this video is to make you practice on a small scale the law and to understand that this law works and how it works. When I tried to see if this visualization technique works, I started small. So my goal was to manifest a crystal. Yes, that was my desire, because I wanted to see how it works, how long it takes to manifest, and also to try different approaches to see what works best. So my goal was to manifest a crystal. Okay, so the next step is to create a clear canvas, okay, and an opening. And you do that by training the mind to become your servant. Your mind is very powerful, but you see, it can be a wonderful servant or your master. And that's the case because of the movies that you have in your mind. You can create a beautiful movie that makes you smile, or a horror movie that makes you feel the anxiety. And most people have anxiety and all these diseases mostly because of the movies that are played in their mind. So you may be thinking, well, how can I train the mind to become my servant? Well, first of all, you must learn to bring yourself in the present moment. How do you do that? Well, Let's say that you drink a cup of tea right now. An average person, while drinking the tea, may be thinking at the same time that he has to pay the bills, to do this or that. He is present somewhere else, but not in the present moment. So you must understand that manifestation takes place in the present. So the thing that you can do while drinking that cup of coffee or tea is to observe how your mind reacts. And when you observe that a thought rises, you must come back and focus on the cup of tea and not on something else. But this exercise of being present must be done every day, otherwise is useless. What I've observed as I started to try to bring myself day after day into the present moment is that in some moments, because you try to control the mind and because you are not used to do that, you will feel some weird effects, like your head starts buzzing, or you may have these really nasty thoughts, okay? But the key to pass by those states is to remain calm and to implement daily affirmations. So at the beginning stages, because my mind was not used to this kind of treatment to bring it to the present moment, I had some really nasty fear thoughts, and I used this affirmation. Day by day comes my way what is meant for me by divine right. I receive wealth, health, love, and perfect self-expression in perfect time, in perfect ways. Okay, so as you bring yourself day by day in the present moment, as you repeat affirmations, you'll notice that your mind will be clear, but you must be vigilant and to have discipline to maintain it in that state. Okay, so after you cleared the clutter from your mind, we must create an opening before we visualize our desire. So how we do that? How do we do that? Well, you must imagine that above your head is this brilliant white light. It comes from above your head and fills your entire body. So you are infusing yourself with the infinite spirit light, the source. Okay, so you must do this before you proceed to the next step. The next step is to use the mind to visualize. Okay, so let's repeat a little bit the process. First, you clear the mind, then you infuse your entire being with this brilliant white light. Then the next step is to use the mind to visualize. Okay, if I say to you right now, a cat, you will see a cat in the back of your mind. Isn't that so? Well, in order to get what you want, you must visualize. That's the secret to success. Well, when I started to manifest that crystal, I visualized this purple shining crystal and I started to view it in my hand, how I was holding it, how soft it was, how sparkly. The key when you visualize is to view all the facets of your desire. You must create a clear picture. So in my visualization, I was holding the crystal, but I saw how the light was passing through the crystal, how I can view the back and the sides. And this technique applies to anything that you want to attract. The power of the heart. You must use the power of the heart. This is the next step. You must understand one thing, that the most powerful generator of heat, of life in your body is your heart. And when it comes in terms of manifesting, you must use the heart as well. So as I was visualizing how I was holding the crystal in my hand, I tried to feel so lucky that I found it. I tried to build up this feeling of gratitude that I have it and I am able to hold it in my hand. So I tried to make that feeling strong. The next step is to put a seal over your manifestation process. You can do that by simply using an affirmation after you've done the visualization process. So I use this affirmation. What is meant for me by divine right may come my way in perfect time, in perfect ways. Amen. Why I say always what is meant for me by divine right? Well, if you don't put a seal over your visualization, like in spells, someone may lose their stuff in order to get to you. Some people, for example, practice candle magic, sigil magic, and because they don't put a seal, well, shit happens. I learned these statements from Miss Florence Shinn, and I will link her books down below. Okay, so let's repeat the entire process. You clear the mind, you fill your body with divine light. You start to visualize your desire, and at the same time you feel the feeling of gratitude as you already have your desire accomplished. After you've done that, you put a seal over the entire process by using a simple affirmation. Okay, the last step, you must forget this process that you've done from your mind. Why? Because in this way you give the signal that you released the intent and is ready to manifest. If you worked on your mind to make it clear of clutter, as I stated earlier, this will not be an issue for you. But if you didn't took the time to make your mind your servant by working on it every day, doubt will come, worry will come, that will generate fear, so you just destroyed everything you've worked for. So the last step is to forget and to release. Okay, so the next step is optional. You choose how you want to do it. For some people, works if they do this only one time. For me, it works if I use the entire process of visualization every single day. And I reserve at least 10 minutes every day to repeat the entire visualization process and then to forget about it. You can do this in the morning or in the evening. Okay, so with this technique, I try to manifest 3 crystals of different sizes. The first one was an amethyst, which I found in a meeting room, and practically it was near me as I was sitting on a chair. The next crystal that I manifested after 2 days. The first crystal I was able to manifest it after 1 week and a half. The next crystal I manifested after just 2 days. But what I did was to try to intensify the feeling of gratitude in my visualization technique. But I was able to manifest only a small little crystal. Then I tried to manifest a larger crystal, and I succeeded. It took about 2 months, but I was not putting so much intensity in the feeling of gratitude. So I wanted to see how it works based on the caliber, on the effort that you put into the visualization. So in my opinion, you should keep track of your results and to start to practice the law and to try it for yourself, first on a small scale, then bigger and bigger, to see what works best for you. Thank you so much, and I think you will be amazed. Have a beautiful day.